Hi, my name is Abahi and I am a claims adjuster. If I can help you make money in this very lucrative industry, would you let me? Today we are going to discuss the question on this screen right next to me. If you need help with that and more, stay tuned. But first, tales from the field.
Can you see it in this video? We're trying to fix this one, but the roof is too weak. When we put this piece over here, this one over here, aka gets stuck. So, you see this roof? It's too weak to repair. I'm gonna do the brittle test right here, right now. That way, can you see? See right there? Create this crack over there. So, for that reason, this roof is brittle to fail. Fixed. So, you see all over, we got damage like that. We're trying to repair, but it's not possible.
This is an oldie but a goodie, so stay tuned and learn something new. I lived in Chicago for a little bit. I was in Uptown. I see North Carolina tuning in, East Texas. Also see McKinley, Texas. Lolita, we talked to you earlier today. Hello, hello. Okay, I see Atlanta, Georgia in the house. Rainy day here in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, good. So we got the chat going. And like I mentioned, I'm going to bring Elle in. Elle, say hi.
Hey, everybody. I am Elle. It's good to be here, good to connect with you all. And thanks for having me, Abahi.
Fantastic. We met her, Elle and I, we met at an event. It was at Atlanta Tech Village. It's a co-working space, and happened to be, she mentioned insurance. So anytime somebody mentions insurance, y'all, I'm like all ears. Like, but not only that, she also teaches the property and casualty class at RS Thomas too. I know many of you are always interested in, for those of you who don't have your license, you all always are looking for maybe an in-person class. Well, this is her right here. So we have a great live plan for you all. Again, entering the insurance industry is unlike any other, but it's a really great industry. And my goal is to be able to help everyone transition. We all want to be able to have a career that pays us what we're worth. And so if you're not being paid what you feel like you're, go ahead and type your comments below. Again, type them on YouTube. That's the best place right now where I'm able to get and see these questions. I mean, this is where my channel started, and thank you to all my subscribers. And Elle, she'll give a little bit of background about herself. Elle, where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so the A all day. I've been here my whole life, except for 3 years where I worked for BMW in South Carolina as a risk manager. So I moved back here.
We had you and then just lost you on the sound a little bit.
Yeah, I lost you a little bit on the sound as well.
Very good. Okay.
You got it? Okay.
Yep. So tell us, you said you were working in North Carolina or South Carolina?
I was in South Carolina at the BMW manufacturing plant, a little north of Greenville in South Carolina.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And how did you get into insurance?
So when I was in high school, I was really good at math and trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. And my mother's an accountant, and so she always thought I would be an accountant as well. And that's occurrences, and I thought that was really cool and interesting. So I asked my teacher what career is attached to this kind of work, and he told me that actuary scientists did it. And I had never heard of an actuary. And I asked him, like, what do they do? What industry do they work in? And he told me that they work in the insurance industry, and that Georgia State University right downtown had a great program. And so my initial major was actually actuary science.
Okay.
And that was my introduction into like the world of insurance beyond an insurance salesperson or beyond a claims adjuster, and to understand that there are more possibilities in the insurance industry.
Right. And so what do you do now? Because I know you're helping other people look into their careers, and the name of your company is Intentions. Intelligent Intentions.
So today I am a life and career coach. I also still do consulting because I have 25 years of experience in risk management and insurance. I still do consulting for small business and middle market companies. But as I was working in corporate, and I was there for a long time, the longest company I was with was the Coca-Cola company. I was there for about 9 years, and then I also worked. The last company I was with was BMW Manufacturing. So I worked with some really large companies, really global brands, and it was very interesting. And I helped them save a lot of money. And I got to the point where I wanted to help use my knowledge and understanding to have a larger impact on individuals versus big companies. And so, as a life and career coach, ultimately, I am managing the risk of people living unfulfilled lives and sitting in unfulfilled careers. And insurance is a natural beginning because I spent so many years in that space. And it was a great career. I enjoyed it and appreciated the opportunities that it afforded me.
Okay, okay, great. So right now, so you help coach people into a career shift, correct?
Yes, I coach people that are shifting their careers, pivoting, people preparing for entering into a career, so college to career readiness. I've done workshops and seminars at various universities around that subject. And then from everything from entering a career, deciding what you want to be to when you grow up to retirement, because nowadays, because the intellectual capital is so valued for retirees, their retirement looks very different than it used to. So some of them are consulting part time and looking for opportunities to have a nice lifestyle while still, being less stressed and being retired. So any career transitions is what I work on with career coaching, including, like I said, pivoting into a different career. And a lot of folks want to pivot into insurance because there's a great opportunity here. I think I read where there's like 50% of the industry in the next 15 years is going to retire, and there aren't a whole lot of millennials and young people that are interested. And so there's great, great, great opportunity in the insurance industry, and because I'm very familiar with it, I can help people connect their current interests and skill sets to opportunities in the industry.
Oh, okay, fantastic, fantastic. And so my goal is, about my background, my goal is claims adjusters, and that's primarily my audience. So definitely seeing some people chime in, and we have a few people who are saying that they have some degrees. I see Cameron Durham. He said he has a degree in business administration. And then I also am seeing AJ Breckens. He looks like he knows you. Intelligent. He's saying intelligent intention. So he was trying to correct me up there. And then we also have tuning in from Houston, Texas. So if you're just joining us, please let me know what city and state that you're in. And what we're trying to do is we're doing a question and answer session with Elle Michelle. She's given us her background and what she does in helping people from career readiness to transitioning your career. So I have some set questions for her already, but what I want to do is open the floor up to you all. So if you're not on YouTube, go ahead, get to YouTube so we can look at questions. I'm also going to put in the chat a link directly to the YouTube. And now, Elle, we also have people tuning in. They said there's Cameron. He's saying that he struggled to get a corporate level job. And then we have people who do have a finance degree. And Dwayne McNeese, if you let us know, you said you're 6 years in the insurance industry. Let us know a little bit more about what you do. And then we have Dallas, Texas tuning in. So Elle, you have a degree in actuary science. So for people who have a business background, what would you suggest for them to do? Or what would be those first initial steps from somebody who has a business degree or maybe even that type of degree? Let's stick with business. So that type of degree, where would you go
Okay.
in telling them the next steps in order to kind of achieve in the insurance industry?
So let me make one correction. My degree is risk management and insurance. My initial major was actuary science, and then I changed it a couple of years in, and then did risk management and insurance. So I have an RMI degree from Georgia State University, and and that falls under the business school. And so people with a business degree, the sky is the limit because insurance is a business like any other business, and not only is it a business, it's a multi. So I would say I'm a bit of a job snob. I like to go with the top companies. So I would say look at some of the top companies. Marsh is the largest broker in the world with a global footprint. Aon is number two. AIG is the largest insurance company in the world with a global footprint, and I think ACE is number two. So look at some of these larger companies that have great opportunities. that are in the insurance, like RIMS is a national organization, RIMS, and that stands for the Risk and Insurance Management Society. Because oftentimes what you know is great, but who you know is greater. And so when people see your face and they connect the dots and they know that you're interested in the industry and that you want to be in that space, going to those luncheons once a month, and as a student it's super cheap, as a professional it's like 25 bucks or something, which is still super cheap because you're paying to be in that network and be connected to people who are decision makers and game changers and influencers in the insurance industry. And so networking intentionally is very important, and tracking down the companies, because a lot of times people just say, "Oh, I want a job." Well, you need to know what you want and be specific and clear about what you want, and then go after that thing and be more targeted. So if you want to be at an insurance company doing things in a major way in a significant space, then you need to go for those top 3 to 5 companies to seek those opportunities out.
And can you give those top three companies again? I think one of the companies you mentioned was AIG, but the sound may have went out a little bit. Can you give those three companies again?
So AIG and ACE are the top insurance companies, and the top insurance brokers is Marsh and Aon. They're the top insurance brokers on the commercial side in the world. And then you
Okay.
can go to business insurance and just look up like the top 10 insurance companies. It'll give you a whole list of the top 10 global business insurance companies.
Okay, and that's actually very interesting that you mentioned that because those companies don't really advertise like a State Farm, like a Nationwide, like a Liberty Mutual, right? And the surprising thing that I found when I got into the insurance industry is there's hundreds of insurance companies and reinsurers all over the country and all over the globe actually. So and you're saying that people need to know what they want to get into. What is a good entry level position for someone with no insurance experience?
So I started in claims, so you'd be happy to know that. I did claims for State Farm first and then AIG. And I was in claims at State Farm as their claim litigation counsel working for the law firm and thought that was interesting. And that was before I even went to college to get my degree. And then while I was in college, I was thinking there's so many opportunities and possibilities. Where do I start? Where do I begin? And I got some really good advice to start in claims from a commercial perspective because it would give me a better understanding of how things happen on the front end. And so that's what I did because my ultimate goal was to be on the risk management team. And so I was at a RIMS luncheon. That's what I say, going to RIMS luncheons and industry events is important. I was at a RIMS luncheon and I ran into a gentleman named George Miller who worked at AIG for many years. George is now retired. He's an amazing professional in the insurance industry, an amazing person, and was always looking to help people out. So he said, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, starting claims because basically we're in this business because things happen. And if you see how those things happen on the back end, then you're a more thoughtful risk manager on the front end because you can place coverage not just by what the policy says, but also understanding the politics of the policy and the ability to negotiate on all ends." And he was absolutely right. It made me a great negotiator. It made me a more thoughtful risk professional and gave me a more well-rounded understanding of what's possible as far as losses and occurring because I did commercial claims. And so it was a very colorful experience to begin with that.
Okay, fantastic. I love that you mentioned the luncheons. And to all my viewers, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Elle Michelle. She is a coach, a career coach, and she is here to help anyone who is wanting to get into the insurance industry. And I'm going to make sure you all have her contact information. So if you do have individual questions, you can ask her. However, if you go to YouTube, you can comment right now. And I am reading the chat. I'm not typing too much in there right now, just so it doesn't disturb the bandwidth and that we can have good quality video and good sound. But what Elle just mentioned is the luncheons. If you heard her say the RIMS, that's RIMS. It's actually an acronym, and I believe it's for Risk
Risk and
Insurance
Insurance Management Society. And it's
Society. Okay.
rims.org is the website. And so there's chapters all over the country, and you can just find one near you, join, and attend the luncheons or to network with insurance professionals.
And that is so important. I went to a CPCU luncheon at March. Maggiano's up in Perimeter, and I mean everybody there is an insurance professional, working in underwriting. They've been doing it for years, and you're right, connecting and meeting the right people, for people who they've been in the industry for quite a while, and it seems like once you get in insurance, you really kind of do stay in it, unless you really just want to break free from it. But the networking and the knowledge that you get, knowing what's changing. And I like that you mentioned commercial, because most of us start out in residential, but if you can get to the commercial side, you'll really be knowing what you're doing there. And then it's not the same. I think in on the residential side, it's kind of like, turn, versus I think with the commercial, you really get in there and get your hands onto something. So not only do you have the RIMS, you have the CPCUs, and there's a lot of other acronyms that we all can get into. And that's the other thing I really love about insurance, guys, is that there's so many niches that no matter your hobby or topics or interests, you're able to find something that's going to be a good fit. So I'm looking at the comments right now, and I'm seeing some people, somebody said they just got laid off from their construction company. They're looking to become either a claims adjuster or agent. They're wanting guidance. They're looking for, some other people are looking at underwriting assistance. That's what Dwayne said. And I'm also looking at some people who just Maximilian. He just started at Progressive as the claims adjuster trainee. So what would be, to you, Elle, in your opinion, what are some of the biggest benefits of working in the insurance industry?
The biggest benefit is what you mentioned. No matter what your interest is, you can attach yourself to managing the risk of that thing or the insurance of that thing. For example, if you're interested in airplanes, then there's a whole industry of people that only insure airplanes. They insure business aviation airplanes all over the world. And there's a niche that you can connect to where you're responsible for insuring all the G550s around, that people have their private personal.
Okay.
So commercial versus personal, I want to make sure you understand that the license is the same.
Hmm.
Your claims license, your adjuster's license is the same. They're not two different licenses for personal and commercial. And so your pivot from personal to commercial is very easy because it doesn't require any additional training or any additional, it may require additional on the job training because it's connecting yourself to the network and making sure that you connect yourself to the right opportunities.
Okay, gotcha. Which is great too, because I get a lot of people, they're like, do I get my casualty or do I get my property? Do I get my auto? And, like people, how do I get into marine? I had someone just the other day ask me about how to get into marine insurance. And again, just like you said, a lot of it, the beginning is just going to be the same for you, but once you get into the job, then there's going to be that different skill set, the different training that you might
Right.
need to be able to know the difference between what the parts on the boat versus the parts on the plane, or the parts on the automobile. So for some
Right, and
people
that
who,
takes on the job training, but it also takes, I want to be very clear to your audience, not just on the job training, it takes an understanding of the vocabulary. Because in marine insurance, the adjusters are called surveyors. And if you don't know that and you're out there looking for a marine adjuster job, there's no such thing in the industry. They're called marine surveyors. But it's the same exact thing, the same exact license, but just knowing, just like any industry, they have their own jargon and vernacular that you have to connect yourself to. Again, that comes along with networking and being amongst people that speak that language, and then asking the questions to be able to help you understand how to connect the dots. And that's part of what I do with my clients in the career coaching, helping them understand you need to connect to the language of the industry. You need to connect to the people that speak that language fluently, and then understand, first of all, what do you want? And then what is that called in this industry? And then being able to connect to those opportunities in a strategic way.
wow, that's actually really powerful, right? Because if you're going to these networking luncheons, you don't want to say, I want to be a marine adjuster. And they're going to be like, what?
Where you come
You
from?
mean like a
That's
survey?
crazy. Right.
Right? So, I mean, so you're right. So being around those luncheons, and I know people always look at the investment, but one, if you go to a luncheon, you do eat a nice meal. So it's not like you're just paying for nothing, but be willing to invest in yourself. Just look at how you're spending your money now, and then just shift it over to something that's going to help you and it actually get a return on your investment, having made the right connections, because it really is who you know, and who can help you, open those doors for you. So,
Right. And doing your research as well. Doing your research because there are other companies, I mean, there are other organizations other than RIMS. RIMS is the one that I've been attached to since college. It's the one think is kind of like, a kind of a catch-all for risk management and insurance professionals. But you also have, like you said, CPCU Society. You also have NIA, which is the National Association of African Americans in Insurance, um, which has chapters all over the country. Atlanta is the largest chapter, and it's an affiliate called the African American Insurance Professionals Association. I recently joined that. So, and if you're interested in claims, there's a whole litany of only claims organizations. There's workers' compensation claims, there's life and health, there's property and casualty, there's the Marine Store. There's like all of these different niche have their own association that's separate. And so, if you do your research first and you understand what you want and what you're trying to connect to, then just look up, professional association for whatever you're looking for. Find it, connect to the network, and to me, that's the best way in the path of least resistance to connect to opportunities.
Okay, fantastic. And thank you for that. I didn't even think about digging into like an African American insurance association. I know I went to there was a national women's association I went to for construction, which I thought was great. So there's probably even, women in insurance that you can get into too as well, guys, who are watching this. And if you're just tuning in, we are speaking to career coach Elle Michelle. We are taking your questions, and just check in, and I'm looking at my YouTube chat, and I'm trying to see just where you guys are at. I'm also just trying to see where not only where you guys are at. Friend of a friend said, thank you. That was a very golden nugget. So she's saying, thanks, Elle. So let me know inside the comments what city and state you guys are in, because we're both, Elle and I are both in Atlanta. I mean, you guys know I'm in Atlanta. But so we do want to, just also think about what other options you guys might have. See Eze Linder is checking in from Las Vegas, Nevada, which is great. And so somebody's saying that is asking, John Riley is asking, he says he heard the job market for independent adjusters is flat and it's very hard to get work. Do you feel like that's accurate?
No, that's not accurate at all. Like I said, there's going to be 50% of people that are retiring. And as a recent risk management and insurance professional, one of the biggest struggles I had was finding adjusters that can come out and survey damage quickly. And so there is a
Mhm.
very big need. You just have to know to look where the need is and understand, opportunities. And so there are what's called TPAs or third party administrators that do nothing but manage claims on behalf of the insurance companies, and they're always looking to hire people to go out and do claims and do survey work in that space. And so, no, there's always jobs out there. It's just a matter of connecting the dots. And I will say that the insurance industry is huge, multi-trillion dollar, but it's interesting, like a tightly knit community. So you see the same people over and over again, same faces, the same connections, because people usually get in it, they stay in a long time. So it is who you know. It is a relationship driven industry, and it is definitely connecting the dots, seeing your face, being around to connect to those opportunities. So you can, and it's a global industry. Let's be clear, it's a global industry. So for
Okay, a second.
so there's so many opportunities.
Right. Can you repeat that last part again about it being global? We just cut out just a little bit
Oh, I'm
there.
sorry. There's a insurance industry is global. So the gentleman that I was mentioning, he has his business where he travels the world. Whenever there's a storm, his goal is to just do claims, property claims for storm damage. And so he does that whenever there's a storm. And when there's no storms, he's at home chilling out because he's made enough money during the storm season that he doesn't have to work the whole year. And so that's his business 100% of the time, chasing storms and doing different um, property adjusting for major catastrophes around the world. And so his insurance license that he got in the state of Georgia translates all over the world because that skill is needed.
Hmm. Hmm. And I like that you mentioned that too, because it is global and you can work the storm season and then you can come home. But in addition to that, it's you've mentioned it several times, skills, training, and things of that nature. So how do you help people get those right skills when they have no experience?
So if you have no experience in the state of Georgia and in many other states as well, you can take a class. You go first of all, insurance is state regulated, so whatever classes or whatever licenses that are required is going to be dictated by your state. And so you can go to your state insurance commissioner's website to determine what those requirements are and what you have to do in order to take the test. For example, in South Carolina, there's no education requirement. You pay $45, you take the test, but obviously you need to understand what you need to know to pass the test. So they give you some a document, you take the test. In Georgia, there's a 40-hour course required for property and casualty as well as life and health. And I teach that 40-hour course. And so you take the 40-hour course, you get a certification, you take the test. Once you pass the test, you get an adjuster's license or an insurance agent's license. And that 40-hour course is pretty much the same exact thing I learned in my degree program. They just break it down into many classes over the course of your last 2 years, but it's exactly what I learned in my degree program. And so you can save yourself a whole lot of time and money because the courses run between $300 and $500, and you take it over the course of 1 week. So you can change your career in 1 week effectively by going to take the class and then signing up for the test.
Right, right. Yep. And somebody did ask about that. So I'm happy you went over that. I think Samia Jamal's is just saying, they offer a 40-hour course. They will take exam also. So is this sounding right? So essentially, yes, in certain states, you do need that 40-hour course there. And that's just the step to even be able to really work inside the insurance industry. Someone else is asking what designations would be good to take to work in estimatics. Are you familiar with estimatics?
I'm not. Is that? Do you mean Exactimate?
No, I think they're asking about the State Farm Estimatics program, which isn't necessarily really a designation. It's really just a certificate, AJ, that people get in order to be able to work with State Farm. And is that
And
something you?
that's an app. I mean, that's one of the applications that they use. So if you think about all the apps that are available to kind of do the same thing, that's one of the things that they do. And so State Farm has now. I used to work at State Farm. Let me tell you, State Farm has an amazing training program. And so if people are interested in connecting to anything at State Farm, they will pay for your training. So you can go get a job there. They'll pay to train you. You pass the test. You go through the process, and then you go through. I think it's like an 8 or 9 month training program. And once you're with State Farm, you're very well trained. So you stay there for as long as you choose to stay there and get the experience and training. And then you can take that training anywhere, including into your own business, because they're really good
That's
at having a training program.
right. That's really, really fantastic. And do you still have relationships? If somebody wanted to connect with you, do you still have those relationships at State Farm where you can, the right candidate might be able to work with you in order to move into a position with them?
Oh, absolutely. I have. I keep connected. If you see on my LinkedIn, I have like over 15,000 connections, and like I said, it's a relationship-driven industry, and so I stay connected to the industry. As a matter of fact, the Atlanta Rams Education Conference is this week, and I'm speaking there because of my connections and being connected to the community. I'm doing a student session to help them understand career opportunities and risk management. So yes, I keep my network well.
Okay. And see, hear that, viewers? Like, you want to connect with Elle Michelle either on her LinkedIn, and of course, I'm going to give you her connect at the end of this live video. But it's important to be able to work with somebody who's already blazed the trail, who knows the inner workings of the industry. And as she mentioned, she has 15,000 connections. I think I looked today, I'm only at like 891 on my connections. So Elle is a career coach and insurance risk professional too as well. And so she's going to be somebody you all want to connect with so that you can get guidance on your career and so that you can be connected to to the right people in order to further your career. And speaking of career change, what are some things, some hurdles that people have to overcome when they are doing a career change? What are like some of the things, the biggest areas or issues that you see from people when they're trying to change careers?
What the biggest challenge I see is that people sell themselves short. They think because
Mhm.
they've never done it before that they aren't qualified to do it, and they sell themselves short. They'll go for an assistant role, or they'll downgrade what they really should be looking for. So, what I always try to do with my clients is first take inventory of your skill sets to show you not about what you called yourself or what titles or roles you had, but your skill sets. How do you deliver? And understanding how you're able to deliver on skill sets and match that up with the skill sets that's in the next opportunity so you can sell yourself not based on experience, but based on your skill sets. And that way you don't leave anything on the table when you're negotiating to let people know I have these skill sets and here's how I've delivered on these skill sets and here's what that may look like in this new opportunity. And so, you're not leaving anything behind or discounting yourself based upon the fact that you haven't been called this particular title. And so that's the biggest mistake people make is selling themselves short. And I heard somebody say they want to be an underwriter assistant. Why do you want to be an underwriter assistant and versus being an underwriter? Go
Right.
into being an underwriter. Go to a training program where you can be an underwriter. There's self study tests that you can take for the designations to be an underwriter and get all those qualifications and get trained to be an underwriter versus an underwriter's assistant. Because one of the things in any job, not just the insurance industry, but any job, when you get into a role and you're really really good at it, you'll get stuck there. And so you want to be able to open yourself up for an opportunity to be promoted. And you get promoted based on deliverables and skill sets, not based on necessarily your job performance in that space. And so striking that balance is really important for you to grow and evolve in your career.
Wow, I want to go on a few things there because I see people undersell themselves all the time. I don't have a degree. I've never done anything like this before. And if you haven't done anything, I think Elle just really should have really filled you with a lot of motivation just now. You don't have to go for just the trainee positions or just the assistant positions and end up in a position that you actually might have to stay at for 18 months to 3 years, being unhappy, hoping that you're able to move up the ladder. When if you maybe have worked with a career coach, they could have guided your resume and looked at what you're doing now and transferred the skills that you already have and showed the employer that you can do this job. I mean, they already know. I mean, almost every employer knows they're going to have to teach you something or train you on something when you come
Right.
into a position. But if you have good customer service skills, if you have good time management, if you know how to get your tasks done, I mean, those three things right there will be very a value for any role inside the insurance industry that is very fast moving and that has to be done in a certain order. So your attention to detail and being able to follow directions. A lot of people, even if you work in transportation, you probably run into problems and issues that need resolved. And that's what a lot of claim writing is, or claims adjusting is solving. Having good customer service is great, not only for a customer, but even within
Right.
your organization. Serving your manager, serving your
Mhm.
colleague is really important. And then with the skill set, I think somebody asked here, I got Paulo the recipe asking, is paying for Xactimate training worth it, or is getting the license good enough? Would you like to comment on that?
Well, getting your license is required by the state of Georgia. Xactimate is a tool that some companies use. Not every company uses that tool. So the
Right,
companies that use that tool will likely offer you training on that tool, so you don't have to pay for that training yourself. And so for me, Xactimate again is one of many tools used. But the Georgia license, when you're in Georgia or whatever state you're in, when you get that state license, that's required for every insurance company. And so that's a
right.
broader marketing tool for you to have under your belt, whatever state that you're in. And there's a resource called III.org, and that's the Insurance Information Institute.org. And if you go on there, there's a directory where they have a list of every single state agency that's responsible for regulating insurance. And so, whatever state you're in, you can go there, click on it. It'll take you directly to your commissioner site. And on that site, it will tell you what the requirements are for your state adjuster or agent license. And you'll see that because it's state regulated, every single insurance company doing business in that state requires that. So that makes you marketable to every insurance company and agency in that state. And if it reciprocates in other states, it makes you marketable there. For example, Georgia license reciprocates in 33 states. And so when I was an adjuster, I had one Georgia license, but I reciprocated in other states and was able to do insurance claims in Florida, New York, West Virginia, everything pretty much on the east side of the country because my Georgia license reciprocated. And so I sat in Georgia, but I managed claims all up and down the East Coast. And so understand there's huge opportunity here. And there's a lot of organizations looking for talented people with a variety of interests and a variety of skill sets in order to fill the talent gap in the insurance industry. And there's a significant talent gap.
Right. And tell us a little bit more. We have about 10 minutes left, guys. So again, let us know what city and state you're tuning in from. As Elle mentioned, in the state of Georgia, you do have to be licensed. Florida, I mean, almost every state along the eastern seaboard, you have to be licensed to be an adjuster. There's very few states out there, and most of them are like in the Northwest, the Montanas, Idaho's and things like in that area of the country
Right.
that require it. But almost every other state requires this license, guys, and you really can't get anywhere without this license. So, Elle, how do you tell people to, give them that sense of urgency? Because I hear people, in December, oh, I'm going to wait till, the beginning of the year, or I'm going to wait until, springtime. What would you tell people who are just kind of waiting in the water to get that license?
I would say that there's no point in waiting because the information is not going to change. The process is not going to change. And you could do it sooner rather than later because once you get your license and you get the information under your belt and able to study and take the test, you're instantly marketable and your people can instantly hire you because they don't have to pay for you to go through training. You can come in, start the training process with the company, and then you're good and you're instantly marketable. Add that to your LinkedIn and you're speaking the language because it's a huge vocabulary lesson and understanding how that works. So I would say there's no point in waiting, not at
Right,
all.
right, right. That's actually a really good point. I mean, you're only hurting yourself from waiting because not only do you need to go through the 40-hour course, that's going to take you 40 hours, whether you go for a 4-day class or you do it online, that's going to take time. But then the actual process to go to the state and then actually let them know you completed the requirements, and then you have to wait on the state government to come back with that license before you can do anything anyway. So whatever time frame you're thinking about, guys, you might as well add 30 days to that because we have to think about government holidays. If they get backed up, I applied for my New York license when there was a government shutdown. It took 3 months just to let them tell me that I missed a piece of paper. So I had to send that in, and it was another 3 months before I got my actual New York license. So it's not, a done deal, guys, once you have that or once you pass your exam. So some people are here, they're asking, excuse me, my eyes like crazy itchy, but I see a few people are asking about someone says they have the PNC, they've been a PNC agent for a little bit now. Will that experience help me as an adjuster? John Riley was asking, and I would just go ahead and say yes.
Yes,
You know,
it's
you
the
have
same class, and that's what people
exactly
don't realize. Property and casualty is property and casualty. So the class, I know in Georgia, the class for adjuster and agency is the same class. It qualifies you to take either of the tests or both tests. So it's
right.
the same class, and so yes, you have that baseline understanding. But look at your state regulations to see if you have to take that class again, because in Georgia, the class is only good for like a year, and after that, you have to take it again. So if you've done it for more than a year, you take the class over, and then you're able to take the test for your adjuster's license, and then you can have both.
Okay, yep, that's fantastic. And one thing I do want to go back to, you did mention this a little bit, but I just want people to be aware. What are the costs that go into the licensing and things of that nature to get going
So
inside?
it varies. It varies by state. In
Okay,
Georgia, the test is $63, and then the classes vary depending on the school that you go to. And all the schools are listed on the state website. And so, like in South Carolina, it's $45 to take the test, and there's no education requirement. So every state is different. You just need to go to your insurance commissioner's website and look at the regulation under, how to become an agent, how to become an adjuster, and it'll give you the prescriptive understanding of what you need to do from an education perspective and what you need to do from a testing perspective and what the fee is. So it varies by state to state, but it's not expensive. Like you can completely change your whole career for like $500. Like you don't have to go back and get a whole master's degree for $40,000 and student loans and 2 years and stressed out. In 1 week, and $500, you can change your whole life, change your whole career. And it sounds crazy, but it's really that simple. The class I teach is over the course of a week or either 2 weekends, and it's about, I think, about $400, and then $63 to take your test. So for $500 and 1 week in Georgia, you can completely have a different career in the space of insurance and marry that to what you already know and what you're already interested in and have a new career.
Right, exactly. And that's the other great thing. It's like it's better than any trade school, because even those commercials for becoming a dental hygienist that only pays $12, $13 an hour.
Right, and it's a year.
Yeah, you still have to go, I was gonna say 18 months. And then just think about the obstructions and the life situations that can occur in 1 year. But as Elle is trying to tell you guys, this professional career coach and risk insurance professional, if you're just tuning in, make sure you let us know where you're tuning in from. And by the end of February, and this is a short month, you can have a new career. It's life-changing money. It's not, okay, I'm going to make $2 extra an hour, or a few extra bucks here, and for off of overtime. I'm actually going to be in a new career where I have there's still promotion. So if you are competitive, if you like achievement, that recognition is there. The organizations and associations, I don't know if I'm working at Target, I don't know where I would go for customer service, luncheons. Okay. So like that's not there. I love learning. Insurance is there's rules and regulations that you get to stay up on the basis. The definition for fraud and hazard and things of that nature never change, but something might change to where how we're insuring roofs and the qualifications for if some homeowners get letters like, hey, if you don't get your roof replaced, we might not insure your roof. Things like that change, but that's fun. It keeps the business very interesting. And like Elle has said, this is in 2018, Deloitte reported $1 trillion revenue earnings for the insurance industry.
Yes, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
Right. That is the second largest industry. Only the medical professional is outdoing this. Insurance is government proof. It's recession proof. And even if, recession did happen, even if, people stop paying their insurance premiums, claims will start to go up, because now people are looking for other ways to pay for damages to their home where they may have just paid for it out of pocket. But when money gets tight, people look for other ways to pay for things. So there's no insecurities. Like, and somebody said this the other day, you really can't even outwork claims. You can never really catch up on claims. There's always a new accident. Sometimes here in Georgia, there's 3 in a row, like within a mile's time. If it gets icy, when we had that ice a few years ago, on my way home, I saw like 30 cars on the side of the road. The trees fall, from the ice and things of that nature. So there's great things for that. And the cost, but you get that new career, that life-changing career, life-changing, the money that you're going to be making. You're going to be able to breathe. You're going to be able to be proud. Yes, insurance is not talked about at home. I mean, people are, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're thinking doctor, lawyer, firefighter, all those types of things. But think about this, people, the things that people aren't talking about. Why is it not? And as we said before already on this call, it's because it's like a silent killer. And it's really that great of an industry. And people just don't talk about it. But if you like helping people, and if you feel like you want to do something that is motivating, that you're actually going to be making a difference in somebody's life, this is the career for you. So listen, Elle, we have a few minutes left. Tell people where to reach you, and let them know like what you can do for them, because there are some people. The startup genie is chiming in, and Samina Jamal is asking for your phone number. We have people in Florida tuning in, and just let them know like how can you help them, and how can they get connected with you.
So you can connect with me on my website, intelligentintentions.com. So intelligentintentions.com, and then that will take you to all of my social media platforms. I'm on LinkedIn. My government name is LaWanda Hall, but you'll see LaWanda L. Michelle Hall on LinkedIn. On IG, it's at Intelligent Intentions. On Twitter, it's at Intel Intentions, and on Facebook, it's Elle Michelle. And there's no E on the end of Michelle, so ELLEMICHELL. And you can get my phone number and connect with me through my calendar all on my website. Set up a phone call. And also, I do monthly webinars, and the next one is coming up on February 27th. And we're talking about getting unstuck. So this is we'll take the conversation a little bit deeper to help people understand some real workable tools that you can do to get unstuck and pivot and move into a career or into a space that's going to evolve you and to be a game changer for you. So connect with me, and you'll send the link out to folks. I send the link over to you, Bahi, to do to be able to register for that webinar. It's only $20. It's an hour, and I'll give you some game changing life work that you can do in order to get you started on your journey for the next for whatever's next for you.
Right. So again, guys, connect with Elle Michelle. Go to intelligentintentions.com. I'm also going to send out that link, but be the first to do it now. That way you get in on her next slots, because I know from the number of people watching this that she's going to be flooded with bookings and calls and things of that nature. So make sure you get in there. You do want to beat the crowd. You just want to get going and get started. So that way you're already in. It's better to be moving. I saw, a picture of a turtle in the meme today. It's just like, it's not really how fast you're moving, it's the fact that you're moving. And Elle Michelle is going to show you how to do that intentionally and get you guys down on the direct path. Listen, I am one person, and I've been doing this YouTube channel for a couple years now, and I get a lot of questions, but she is the career coach, professional. I mean, I can show you, guys, how to get up on the roof and things of that nature and train you. But when it comes down to that career change, she's the professional. She has the connections. And so I'm growing this network that is here to help you all in order for you to make that career change and to make that career shift, guys. So be sure to get in there. If you guys have additional questions for her, again, go to intelligentintentions.com. Connect with her on LinkedIn. I'm connected with her, so you can also find her through me. And I'll be sending up a follow-up, and get on that webinar of hers, because it's going to make your life different. Invest in yourself. If you can't invest in yourself, you're never going to get unstuck. And that's what she's going to show you on that webinar. Okay, so let me just make sure. So Antoine92 says, what's the best company to go through for the 40-hour course? It really just depends on where you are. Yep, I like Adjusters Pro as well. It's just going to depend on the state and city, especially if you want to do something in person. If you want an online course, go to majoradjusters.com, and I'll show you how to get through that course very, very fast online, and just show you the tricks to get through it. Don't be afraid. Don't ask about how hard it is. It doesn't matter. The goal is to get you to passing, and both of us can help you all with that. Okay, so just to be respectful for everyone's time, I'm going to end the call, but I thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget intelligentintentions.com. Elle.
Hey guys, let me ask you a quick question. I know you're busy, but what I want to know is, have you ever thought about becoming a claims adjuster, helping people get back right on their feet after an incident? Well, here's the good news, is that claims adjusting is the most rewarding experience that you can possibly have. It's a high-paying career, and it's really, really easy to get into, and I want you to be able to get into it too. I have training set up, got training going on right now. Stay tuned. I just want to be able to help you change your life. Have you ever thought about becoming somebody who makes more money, who has more freedom to be time freedom to be able to help their family, who helps people, who has a rewarding career? If that's you, this is it. And I want you to be able to join my program and learn exactly how you go from being unlicensed to having work, and join our job placement guarantee in our course that is going to provide that training for you. Take a look at just what people say about my training. All right.